Crafter's Companion creates not only the Spectrum Noir pens, but they also do some wonderful cutting dies, and we have some new ones. Wait till you see what you can do with them.
There are 4 new sets, and there are 2 in each one of those sets. They are intricate and just beautiful.
And they're all corner dies, but you're not limited to that. Wait till you see what you can do.
Come play with us.
Well, as we said, there are 4, and here
there
they are.
There are 4. We have Floral Corner, Lace Corner, Lattice Corner, and Doily Corner. Now, with each one of these dies, you're going to get 2 dies. They each measure 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. This is the Floral Corner. So you can see there are 2 images. They are exactly the same, but there are 2. So if I turn them over, you'll see 2 cutting dies there.
Now you might ask, why are there 2 identical ones? Well, it allows you to run through your machine fewer times.
Right.
And we'll show you some examples.
And you can see that really fine detail. If we go back in here, I want to show you, these are not just cutting dies, they are also embossing dies. So those light blue areas you see shown in there are the embossed areas, and the other, the white showing through are the cutting areas.
Okay.
So, just beautiful.
So we're going to start with the Lace Corner,
okay,
which is not the one you're holding.
No.
Which is that one.
This one.
Okay. So you can see it kind of comes to a point, and here is a card that was made, and boy, Lace Corner is a perfect name for it. You can see, and you can see why having 2 of them, then you don't have to run it through 4 times. You can just do it twice.
Exactly.
So there's the top part, so pretty. And there's the bottom part, and ready for whatever your focal is. In this case, we've used paper towel. This happens to be Florals for Colorists, and you get that beautiful, fun color.
Right. And this is the way that was used. So for that card, it was a black card front, but Susan started with a smaller piece of white cardstock, and she used 2 dies at once, and she taped those in place. I would use stencil tape for that, so you can remove the tape afterwards. Go ahead and run it through your machine, then you pull off your dies and move them to the opposite corners. Run them through again, and the look that you get is what you see on the card.
Now the other thing that's happening is that outside edge is cutting, but the inside edge is not. Now that's important, because otherwise you would end up with little pieces.
That's right.
And that would be fine, but that's not how these are designed.
I'd kind of like to show you that just real briefly. So here's an example of placing the die so that the cutting edge is around that corner. If I were to reverse the process, which I did, just to show you, it's not like I made a mistake or anything.
It is, because that's what she did first. That's exactly what happened.
I put the cutting die on there, and here's the cutting edge, and so it cut that corner off completely.
Right.
And so I didn't have that on my corner. So this is the way you want to set it. So you're going to want to turn over your cutting die, look at the back side, and find that cutting edge. As I look here, I can see a cutting edge that goes all the way around that outer edge. It follows all the way around. And on this edge, that cutting die is not all the way around. It's got open areas.
Okay, so again, just looking at this one, we have this. We did add some pink dazzles to it. And the hello that's on the front and the with love that's on the inside were the tiny words and phrases dazzles, and that happens to be there. Now, I think this is really a very pretty inside.
That is absolutely beautiful, and it's just using a square of cardstock, and you're just using that corner on one of those squares.
Really nice, so remember that. So
make a nice gift card all by itself.
It would, wouldn't it? And so you can use that individually too, but just really fun to see that explosion.
I also have to say, we're not going to see it here, but I like the idea of using that on the corner of a photograph. If you've got a big area with nothing on it, that would be nice too.
Scrapbookers, remember? Things are for you. Now we're going to go over to the second one, and that's the one that you were showing that had a little more filigree to it.
This is Floral Corner. It's got the beautiful flowers all over the edges, but it also has nice areas of embossing, and that's why you can see it on here, because it's been embossed and then it was sanded, so those raised areas were sanded off. And this is what that looked like. This is from the you use pastel cardstock. I believe pastel cardstock was used here. And it's got kind of a white core on the inside. So once you run it through, and let me just talk about that. Here, I'm looking for my dies here. When you run it through, you're going to use this 4 times, and the cutting edge for this is right here. So here's the cutting edge with that big flower, and here's the edge that is not going to cut. But all those extra holes in there that you see without an edge around them, those are going to emboss. So first, run it through your machine like this, and you can use 2 at the same time, 1 here, 1 on the other corner. Run it through, have this taped in place, your cutting die machine. Then run it through again, and you're going to place it with the embossing mat.
Yeah, this is the silicone rubber one. And what it's going to do is push that paper up into the die.
Right. So you want to make sure that that embossing mat is on the side of the paper, pushing the paper into the die, and that's what makes those impressions. So when you're done, and you'll do that for each of these corners, then you've got this nice raised edge, and you can see all of that embossing, and that all comes from the die. Then you're going to place it down on a craft mat or your scrap paper, get your sanding block, and start sanding. And I'm just going to go in circles just a little bit, and you can see it right away, removing that that upper layer so that you get down to the white, and you can see the raised edges.
Right, and here it is placed on a card, and we've added some other pieces just to embellish it. And as you can see, really, really pretty. Now, you don't have to sand it, of course. That's just a technique that you can use with the pastel cardstock because it has the white core.
But if you have white cardstock or anything else that doesn't have that white core, you can also ink those raised edges. And if you have, just use a kind of a light hand, go around lightly, and you're going to also hit those raised areas. And it also gives you a really beautiful look.
So lots of options, and again, you can use them individually, pair them up. This also has been using the tiny words and phrases. Now you'll notice that this is silver and this is white. Well, if you will place, in this case, the thanks onto your craft sheet, then hit it with a white StazOn ink pad. You will turn the silver to white if that's what you'd like. On the inside of this card, here is another of the little pieces, just again, one of them, and we've added You're the Best, also has been hit with the StazOn white ink pad. So really, really pretty. I love just how full that is. Just absolutely gorgeous.
It's just beautiful.
So we've seen it as widely separated. We've seen them tightly done. Now we're going to get a couple of other looks.
And a couple of other options using the Lattice Corner. Okay. And these are the pieces that you see here, 2 of those. And they just have such a beautiful look there. It's almost kind of Victorian or something like that. But I love the way this has been sort of intertwined. And there's a couple of different ways, a couple of different things going on there that you're seeing. First, Debbie cut this out of cardstock. Now, right in the center of this cardstock is where that die was placed. So you can see that one edge was cut, remember, like we said, and the other edge is not. So once she got to that point, she got her scissors and kept about a 1/16 of an inch away from the rest of that that cut area, and she just cut around it like so.
Now this particular one has a swirl that goes up.
Right.
And was that cut around because it's hidden in this, so you can just kind of lop it off,
so
can't
if
you?
I guess if it's hidden, we can just cut it off there. You don't have to go to the detail. And I'm going to do this kind of quickly, but she stayed about a 1/16 of an inch away. And that gives you 2 pieces. And she did one more thing to make it so that she could slip paper through this area. And I didn't know that she did that. And so I'm pulling this in really quick. So right in this area, she wanted to slip a strip of paper from here to here. And so she went through and cut right along here.
Just use a retractable pen knife.
Right, so
and
cut
make that
there
slit.
And cut here.
Okay.
And now you have this little area here that you can slide a piece of paper in there. You can see.
And that's what she did. She just slipped a piece in there And I think that just is so beautiful, something I would never have thought of.
It is. And she also did the same thing on the area behind it. I'm going to slide this back in. So here is a rectangular shaped piece of paper. She put those corner die for the cover, right? She used the corner die, one on each of the corners. She didn't go to the trouble of embossing these. I don't think it's necessary for the look that she was creating. So just cut them out. You don't have to emboss it. And then wanting to put paper in between each of these corners, she went in and cut that same area that I just showed you. And I've gone ahead and I cut here and here, so you can see that. And she did that on each one of these. And I left one of these undone, so I can just show you right underneath that little scalloped edge there, and just cut it out just like so. And then she took another rectangular piece of paper, and the dimensions for all of this are on your gallery. She placed some border dazzles on the edges.
Those are copper ones, by the way.
Yes, they are. And then just slipped that in just like so. You can do it on this end, and then go ahead and do the opposite end as well.
So that slipping technique is really used well on this card.
So that's a really neat idea. I never would have thought of this.
Neither would I.
I don't know how Debbie thought of that. That's amazing. Okay, so now you've got that caged in there, and there you go.
And then another piece right on top. And she did use the same copper dazzles on the edge, and also the jewel copper in the center. Then,
and again, did we talk about?
No, I'm doing that right now. So the card greetings has been used, but again, that comes in black. So in order to make it copper, Debbie did the same thing that Susan just did with the previous card.
Use your copper stays on, and just take the pad and just hit it on top of that. Yeah, tap it on top of those words, and now you've got copper colored dazzles.
Absolutely gorgeous. On the inside, oh look, just that centerpiece.
Right.
And beautifully done. It's just so pretty. Very
a really
fun.
Unique way of using those.
Oh good, now what else can we do? Okay, now this one is this is the doily.
The doily corner. So you can see that it comes around the corner like so, in a doily shape. It's rounded. I love those little holes, and it's got an extra little pop out here, and again, 2 each.
Okay, so this is what you can create, and those are the pop-out areas, as you were talking about. These have been placed on pattern paper.
They have, and there are several of them. You're seeing 4 of those pieces. Start out by going ahead and cutting it on cardstock, just the way Debbie did. You're going to cut this piece out.
You die cut it?
You die cut this piece, correct, and then you're going to cut it out with scissors to get this piece. So this started out here. You just cut about 1/16 of an inch away from this area, and you'll have a piece that looks like this. And actually, I think it was Susan's card. Susan did this. And then put several of them. You're going to put 4 around, just like that. And what's great is backing this area. I love backing this one area here with that nice lighter green paper. So that's a beautiful look.
So, and there's the greetings used as they come.
I just spotted something that I didn't even notice.
Okay.
Did we even know where the butterfly came from?
We did not know where the butterfly came from.
It comes from here. Look.
Show us.
Just like
oh my goodness.
So, okay, so I didn't even spot that. And you're just going to cut that out as well, and you can do that by cutting just like so, and then cutting all those little.
And you thought they were just loops. Corners, didn't you?
I didn't even look at the butterfly, knowing that, okay, well, that butterfly comes from, I don't know, must be dazzle or something. I didn't even think about it. So there you go.
That's really clever.
And then you're going to back that with the red paper, and you've got a butterfly wing.
Very
Great
nice.
idea.
All with the one. And then we've added another butterfly on the inside.
So really look at your cutting dies and look at smaller areas and try to think, oh, what else can I do? Look, that could be a flower. Cut that little part out.
Or watch us and we'll show you.
Cut several of them, and then you will have a flower.
Now we have one more, and that is called the lattice.
It is.
Oh, this is still the same. Oh,
We've got the doily corners as well as the lattice corners.
Okay.
So let's start with those doily corners.
I just really appreciate that so many of these things we're able to show with scrapbooking, because it's just nice to include everybody, all of the
Right.
paper crafters in this. So we have taken that doily
The doily
one,
corners.
and here it was 4 of them into kind of a square.
Right.
And now into an oval. Oh my goodness, look
So
at
just
that.
cutting them out. Remember, cutting them out just like this. You're going to cut around those little circles, just like so. It really doesn't take very long, and especially if this edge is going to be hidden behind a photo, you don't even have to be too careful about it. Once you've cut it out, then you're going to start placing it around your photos. Of course, it was done in white, but just start going around the edges like so.
How pretty, look at that. Now, if you're a little cautious about how you're going to cut that oval and
Right.
mat the photo, we do have this large Easy Ovals template, and it gives you all these graduated sizes.
Yeah.
And
So that's great.
just-
You can place that right on
yeah.
the back of your photo and cut your photo
And
out.
your
By the
paper.
way, when you're working with vintage photos, please do make a copy of it. Keep your original and take a copy if you're going to be cutting into it. You
Right.
don't want to cut into an original.
And then this is also that same doily one, just
Right.
like we showed you on the card, turned perfectly
Right.
vertically. In this case, it's offset, so you can see with those corners. And then we have, this is which one?
This is the Lattice
Okay,
Corner.
very
So
pretty.
here's the look here, and just using it on the corner of the patterned paper, and then place the whole thing on white cardstock.
So we've got that on all 4 corners. And just to keep things going, you can see this. This is the painted lace dazzles. Now you do get 2 different sheets included, and that pearl finish is really pretty along with the white cardstock. So just a really elegant look.
Beautiful. So lots of different ways to use them. The doily corner, the lattice corner, floral corner, and the lace corner.
Right, lots of good uses, and versatility is what we appreciate.
Have fun.